Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 11, Episode 5 of The Timeline. January 16th, 2025, my free day, as I call it. So I'm not doing much of anything. I didn't pick up a pen, a piece of paper, or even open the computer today. But I did go to the country after I received a call from our friend. I went to his house. I arrived at 3:35 p.m. and I helped him with things he needed done and to make sure he was doing an okay job with it. I also did up his dishes and swept floors. When I finish, I leave to go home. January 17th, 2025. Thank you, God. As I start my day to clean and sort laundry, and when I finish, I start writing an episode for this next week. At 5:07 p.m., I take a break and drive to the cemetery. When I arrive, I pull up to Wyatt. I snap two photos of his headstone. I visit with him. I rearrange his flowers that are still in his vase, and I pray to God over him. Then I went to visit Megan. The first picture is of Babyland 6th West area, the full view. The flowers on the other three headstones are still here, but none for Megan. The second picture is of Megan's area where her flowers, well, where her headstone should sit. But that's not here either. But none of the others are either, not where they belong. In the third picture is of the southeast headstone close up to the rock headstone, and on to the west are headstones, and on to the Mother Mary statue. In the fourth picture, it's a close-up picture of the rock headstone that sat east of Megan and west of the existing tree. Today, it has 9 small white rocks on the west side of it, and in the fifth picture, I placed purple and white flowers west of the tree, the existing tree. I placed them in Megan's resting plot. In the next picture, I walk south and I snap a photo of Megan's flowers while looking north. Headstones north are all in a row. The seventh picture is of where I walked more south and snapped a photo of the closest area, facing north. In the eighth picture, it's another full view picture of the area and another close-up picture of Megan's flowers. In the 10th picture, it is taken from the existing tree to the north in the area where the north tree was at one time. I did get tears in my eyes, and I thought, because of people that can't be truthful, the truth is hard to tell nowadays. And then when I return home, I finish the writing for the episode, and I will reread it and time it tomorrow. January 18th, 2025. First thing I did, I reread and timed the episode. It is long enough to record. So later this afternoon, we went to the country to take our friend to the stores to clean up for him and to enjoy his company and him ours. A little later in the evening, when we finish, we leave and went home. When I arrive home, I relax the rest of the evening. January 19th, 2025. Thank you, God, for this day. I'm not going to say I'm going to record today because I probably won't, but I will work in the screenplay to get some more written and filled in, and then relax today. Have a good one. January 20th, 2025. Tonight I will record, and as I think that, I think, what is wrong with Megan's story? Every bit of it is the truth. Every bit of the proof is the truth. We have tried everything. I've written letters. My friends have offered to write letters. My sister has sent emails. And yes, I've received responses to Megan's story that was helpful and I did follow through with. I have even received responses from the city of Moore that has blew our minds. For instance, the first response was the first letter written response. They didn't know me and that I didn't have any loved ones in that cemetery. And then the second response written was, they haven't heard from me in a while. And then the third response, the last time I've heard from him, the people that were involved in this doesn't work here anymore. And it blew our minds. Because for one, which is it? They don't know me? And I don't have loved ones in the cemetery? Or they haven't heard from me in a while? So you do know me. And for the people that were involved and that no longer work there, please explain because they even if they aren't there, I don't understand. Am I supposed to let it go? Because that is not going to happen. What do you think? What would you do? And then after thinking this, I see and read this. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Then I thought, I know he is. And then as I start my day, I clean. I stay in, and this evening after dinner, I did record. When I'm finished, I call my sister Susie to talk to her. The episode is emotional, and as before, I feel the emotions. And after Susie and I were done talking, I did feel better, and we hang up and I went to bed. January 21st, 2025. Thankful for this morning for having the episode recorded. I start my day less emotional, but I do still feel the heavy heart. When I feel this way, I make a trip to the cemetery. At 2:31 p.m., I pull up to Wyatt's area. I take a picture from the street of his headstone. I visit with him for a little bit, and then I went to visit Megan. I pull up to Babyland 6th West, and the first picture I snap is the electrical pole is in the center of the picture. There are headstones to the south and to the north. A small portion of the existing tree branches are to be seen. In the second picture is of the full view from the electrical pole to the existing tree. Megan's flowers are here, and the reason for coming here today is to check to see if the flowers were put here on January 17th are still here, and they are. In the third picture is of the southeast headstone to the rock headstone, onto the west where headstones sit, and onto the Mother Mary statue. In the fourth picture is of Megan's purple and white flowers stuck in the ground west of the existing tree where Megan was laid to rest. The fifth picture consists of the newly set in drain, and onto the black and white Babyland sign west of the drain to the double headstones west of the Babyland sign and the small newly set in drain. Onto the blue and white Babyland 6th West sign, and then to the existing tree, and then to Megan's purple and white flowers, and on west to headstones, including the newly set in headstone. They are headstones to the south, which should set north of this existing tree, and headstones to the north, which should set north, but further north of this existing tree. In the 6th picture is of the north area of the existing tree, where the north tree sat until a storm cracked the tree in half and the city cut it out. Google Earth. And in this picture, the big brown headstone north of this tree, here now, is to sit east of the north tree and west of the big old rusty drain. In the 7th picture is a close-up picture of picture 6. When I'm done taking pictures, I stand in place and I look around the area, yet again in disbelief. The realization of it all is hard to believe. Well, not for us, the family who knows all about it. And I'm positive there are other families. When I went to the car, I sit and overlooked the area, shaking my head like, not in disgust with the angels, but in disgust for the city, whether the people involved with this still work here or not. It still needs to be fixed. I take a long pause and I leave the cemetery. When I get home, I cook dinner to relax. January 22nd, 2025. When I wake up this morning, I thank God. I thank God for my kids, my grandbabies, my family and friends. I thank Him for all. I thank God for the episode, for the podcast, and I thank Him for the listeners. Then I refresh my mind of the episode airs tonight at 8:00 p.m. on Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, Podcast Index Audible, Listen Notes, RSS.com Community, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and publicrss.com. And we appreciate all the listeners, including the new arrivals. Thank you so much. January 23rd, 2025. On this day, the skies are clear, and I need to recharge. It's my free day, so I left the city area. I drive west, and just at times I need this. I need the different surroundings, the different mindset. About an hour and a half later, I stop to check out some scenery. I get some lunch and I sit to relax. I sit for a good amount of time. No phone on, no communication. Just the cool wintry air through the window every now and then. And it is quiet, except for the traffic that drives by. When I'm ready to leave, and a short time later, I drive to get home. As I pull away, I thank God and ask Him to get me home safely. And before guiding me home, He guided me to drive through the cemetery. I sit with Wyatt a few minutes, and then I drove around to visit Megan. All looks okay from the car, so I tell my angels I love them, and I leave the cemetery. I went home. January 24th, 2025. Thank you, God. I start my day by taking my grandson to do his road test for his license. I'm so proud of him. He passed. When we finished, we went to lunch. He also has a test to do this afternoon for an interview for a job. So he finishes with that. He's accomplished quite a bit today. And then I take him home. And then I soon go home too, to get started writing an episode for the podcast. When I finish for the day, I'm not quite done, but I will work on it tomorrow. Have a good night. January 25th, 2025. I'm excited today because we are having a 5-year-old birthday party for our friend's little boy. Shh, he has no idea. Madison calls to ask me to get the decorations out, the balloons, streamers, the balloon holders, pin the tail on the donkey game. So of course I did. Then her and I went to the store to get the party scheme decorations. We also got him a 5-balloon bouquet of the same scheme for the party. He's going to be so surprised. And that's what makes us happy. We get home to decorate, and at 3:05 p.m., the streamers are hung, the balloons are flying high, there are some on the floor, and the gifts are sitting on the gift table. Guests start arriving, and by 4:40 p.m., the party is in full gear. We are having a lot of fun, and little man is too. Later this evening, afterwards, the mess is clean, and everyone leaves, and we all have smiles on our faces and good feelings in our hearts. I sit to relax before bed, and then I thought, I didn't get any writing done today, but I will work on it tomorrow before anything else. January 26, 2025. Thank you, God, for waking me. I am to write today, so that's what I'm doing this morning and afternoon. As I write, I take breaks too. I have to. It dredges up the feelings. It stresses me, and I have to step aside. So before it gets too late in the day, I went to the cemetery. At 5:14 p.m., I went to visit Wyatt. I take a picture of his area, I visit with him, and soon after I went to visit Megan. But on the way to pull around to Megan's area, I snap a picture of the sky. The clouds look as though they are rolling in rows. Then as I pull up to Megan's area, the clouds look as though they are in a bouquet in the sunset. It really is a nice picture over the cemetery. The electrical pole is in the center of the picture. There are headstones to the south and to the north of the pole, with a small portion of branches hanging over from the existing tree. These headstones in this area were not here in this location until 2015, because this area between the electrical pole and the existing tree used to be an open area until then, as shown in pictures taken from 1999 and up. And since then, they have put 4 headstones in, and the newly set in headstone west of the tree. And this is why I pray. The new headstones that were newly set in are as a new plot and not next to a loved one whom only has the headstone sitting there. Let's hope they are new ones, buried in what was the opened area between the pole and the existing tree. In the second picture, it's of the full view of Babyland 6th West. Megan's flowers are here. The third picture is of the same. The fourth picture, I can't get over the way the clouds are formed and the sunset is like a stem of the clouds above the treetops. Gorgeous picture. And in the fifth picture is of the southeast headstone to the rock headstone, to headstones in the west and the Mother Mary statue. In the next picture, it's of the south side of the existing tree, the two headstones that used to sit near the north tree, and partial views of the heart headstones that also used to sit near the north tree, as pictures show. Megan's flowers are close up and a few headstones to the northwest. In the sixth picture, I'm standing south of the newly set in drain to the black and white Babyland sign, to the double headstones that used to sit between the north tree and the south tree, but now sits east of what is the south tree, as pictures show. And then on to the blue and white Babyland 6th West sign, to the existing tree, on to Megan's flowers and headstones to the west, and on to the newly set in headstone. The headstones showing south of this existing tree are the ones that sat north of this existing tree, and the headstones that sit north of this existing tree now used to sit more north. In this next photo is of the clouds in the sky with the electrical pole and the tree in the picture, and between the two are headstones that don't belong there. And in the eighth picture, this picture shows the north area from the location east of the newly set in drain, set in 2019. The ninth picture is a full view picture of the existing tree to the north, showing headstones sitting now where the north tree sat until it was cut out after a storm cracked it in half. The next picture is of the same area. I visit with Megan, then I visit with all them angels in the ground, but not at rest. And that's when I think, that's why I'm here, why this has become part of my life. I'm the voice they need, and at times I feel so bad because I'm a sensitive personality, and I start crying like a baby just talking about this. And because I have that problem, I have a hard time expressing the emotion and what has been done. But that still doesn't mean I'm putting the pen down, because I cannot do that. When I'm done visiting, of course, I'm leaving the cemetery with tears in my eyes, tears running down my cheeks. I have to stop to wipe them away. I tell Megan and Wyatt I love them, and I leave the cemetery. When I went home and when I get here, I take some deep breaths and I sit down to relax. A little later, I finish the writing for the episode and I say good night. Thank you for listening. Stay kind with your words.